So, welcome to the College Athlete Podcast. I'm Bobby Barrett.
I'm Ryan Bevington,
I'm committed to UCLA for rugby.
and I'm going to San Jacinto College for baseball.
So, how did that kind of start? And then I guess we can both talk about that, how that kind of developed for you, and what the practice schedule looks like in season.
So, when you refer to practice schedule, do you mean my practice schedule currently or next year?
Next year.
So it came to start through summer ball. You know, you get seen by all these notorious colleges and the big colleges, and then I'm sure, as everyone listening knows, has heard about the transfer portal and what it does for high school athletes. None of the big schools want to train kids. They want already trained kids, and so that's making a lot of dudes my age, the big guys, the good guys, they're all landing at JUCOs, and it's a blessing in disguise. So JUCO itself, you don't get the luxury. You get all of the eyes looking at you, but you don't get the super multi-million-dollar facilities. You don't get anything like that, and it's a grind. So I believe you have lift every morning out when it's not season. Wake up at 4:30 or 5, go on a run, go hit the weights, go home and shower, eat. You have to cook all your own meals. You don't really have a dining hall. You don't have free food, so you got to cook your own stuff. And you go work in the classroom, you go do your stuff there, and then it's bam, you're right back to another practice. So you're on the field after your school day, after your lift, you're on the field for about 4 hours. Some days, I believe, outside of season, you do somewhere around 18 to 20 inning scrimmages, and so that's roughly 5 or 6 hours, and so it's a lot of time bonding with your boys, and you spend a lot of time grinding, and it's for a very good purpose. You know, everyone there wants to go to the next level, and pretty much anybody there can go to the next level. And so that's kind of the day in the life that I'll be living next year. Obviously, it'll be a little different with my rehab, but you go ahead, Bobby, and tell us what your day in the life currently and next year will be like.
Yeah, so I think when I decided that I wanted to make this something that I wanted to do in college, I kind of had to look myself in the mirror and say, okay, what I'm doing isn't not that it's not working, because I was still playing, but I needed to commit more to it, right? Mm-hmm. So a typical week for me, right, when we're practicing Strake Jesuit, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. If we have a game on Saturday, I'll wake up 4:45, go to the gym, and get a lift in, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'll wake up at 5:30 and get a run in. And I think the what's really helpful and has been really helpful for me is how much of a cardio sport rugby is, right? Mm-hmm. So the lifting, when you pair it with 2 hours of your practice, which is essentially 2 hours of cardio, mm-hmm. really gets you into amazing shape. When you get to college, you're kind of looking at with rugby, because of the lack of development, because of the lack of funding and things of that nature. I could kind of compare it to junior college in a way. It's not mm-hmm. going to be like football where you have a nutritionist on staff mm-hmm. saying you're eating this so you can get bigger. It's obviously you have these facilities, but they're not going to be the football facilities, right? You might be lifting in the rec center weight room, trying to be the best team you can be, and so that's kind of adapting to that. And nobody's getting paid to be there, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like junior college. No one's getting a scholarship, right? It's just people who want to play somewhat for the love of the game, which I think, like you said, kind of builds that relationship. And you kind of touched on summer ball, having played club rugby in some pretty cool places and playing mm-hmm. summer rugby. It I can definitely see, even though there's more eyes on you, especially as you play on select teams, the bonds that you make with those guys, I think are definitely really special, because mm-hmm. it's a higher level, but you're all trying to go to the same place.
Yeah, I agree.
And have you ever seen, I guess, because I've definitely seen it, right? When you're playing a sport at the higher level, right? Guys that are obviously going to be way more talented, Do you think, like, because it definitely has for me, like, seeing how those guys go about their business, has that helped you kind of build stronger habits?
Yeah, I believe that you kind of become what you hang out around. So if you're hanging out with the wrong group, you're going to start doing the wrong things. If you're hanging out with the guy who's been committed to UT since he was 12 years old, you're going to start doing some of
Yeah.
the things he does. And so I think that I have been influenced by kids my age, and I've also been influenced by the connections I've made from the coaches on the higher level and even the highest level. I've kind of retained information from everybody and found better ways to go about my day to get better. How about you? Have you been influenced by anybody in particular?
For sure. I think, like, you look at a guy like Marcus Harris last year that plays for Arizona right now and went through that recruitment process. It's been really helpful to see how he approached that and how he talked to coaches and how he prioritized his training and things of that nature, waking up early and going and getting after it and running and staying after practice. And even though, like, you know, and seeing how that hard work kind of materialized for him in the form of going and playing at Arizona, I think was really inspiring for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess that's the end of our podcast. Thank you for watching, and
Thank you for watching.
sir.